All right, assignment assistance on the 10-point program here. So the first question, in what way, if any, should the government compensate groups of people whose rights have been denied in the past? We might remember this from before we went to this e-learning model on reparations unit, where we talked about 40 acres and a mule, and then we talked about modern day reparations. So try to activate your brain from back then. That was a couple of months ago. But we are looking at the Black Panthers today and their 10-point program. It's kind of their almost like constitution and what they're demanding as a group. So let's start with this PowerPoint real quick. As we come down to part 2, review the following PowerPoint, read the document below, and answer the questions at the end of this assignment. Give me 1 second here to make an answer key, which I forgot to do. Real sorry about that. All right, so here we go. Present. All right. So the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was a black nationalist and socialist organization founded in 1966 by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. Huey P. Newton, 1942 to 1989, was a self-described revolutionary who wanted to transform racial and economic power structures. Newton was accused of killing a police officer and imprisoned, but later released on appeal. Today's document comes from the party platform he and fellow activist Bobby Seale wrote when forming the party in 1966. Newton included this document in the dissertation he wrote when earning a PhD in social philosophy from the University of Santa Cruz. The document references the 40 acres and 2 mules that the government promised but did not provide to freed slaves during Reconstruction. Our 3 vocabulary words from this document are means of production, which is the resources needed to produce goods, for example, factories; cooperative, property owned by residents and run collectively; and decadent is wasteful or corrupt. So here we go with the 10-point plan. All righty, there we go, increase the size. So number 1, we want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our Black community. We believe that Black people will not be free until we are able to determine our destiny. 2, we want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every employment or guaranteed. Sorry again. Bad presentation here. We believe that if the white American businessmen will not give full employment, then the means of production should be taken from businessmen and placed in the community so that the people of the community can organize and employ all of its people and give a high standard of living. 3, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our Black community. We believe that this racist government has robbed us, and now we're demanding the overdue debt of 40 acres and 2 mules. 40 acres and 2 mules were promised 100 years ago as restitution for slave labor and mass murder of Black people. We will accept the payment in currency, which will be distributed to our many communities. The Germans are now aiding the Jews in Israel for the genocide of the Jewish people. The Germans murdered 6 million Jews. The American racist has taken part in the slaughter of over 50 million Black people. Therefore, we feel that this is a modest demand that we make. 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. We believe that if the white landlords will not give decent housing to our Black community, then the housing and the land should be made into cooperatives so that our community, with government aid, can build and make decent housing for its people. 5, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. We believe in an education system that will give to our people a knowledge of self. If a man does not have knowledge of himself and his position in society and the world, then he has little chance to relate to anything else. 6, we want all Black men to be exempt from military service. We believe that Black people should not be forced to fight in the military service to defend a racist government that does not protect us. We will not fight and kill other people of color in the world who, like Black people, are being victimized by the white racist government of America. We will protect ourselves from the force and the violence of the racist police and the racist military by whatever means necessary. 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and the murder of Black people. We believe we can end Black brutality in our Black community by organizing self-defense groups that are dedicated to defending our Black community from racist police oppression and brutality. The Second Amendment to the Constitution gives a right to bear arms. We therefore believe that all Black people should arm themselves for self-defense. 8, we want freedom for all Black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. We believe that all Black people should be released from the many jails and prisons because they have not received a fair and impartial trial. 9, we want all Black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in court by a jury of their peer group or people from their Black communities as defined by the Constitution of the United States. We believe that courts should follow the United States Constitution so that Black people will receive fair trials. The 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution gives man a right to be tried by his peer group. A peer is a person from similar economic, social, religious, geographical, environmental, historical, and racial background. To do this, the court will be forced to select a jury from the Black community from which the Black defendant came. We have been and are being tried by all white juries that have no understanding of the average reasoning man of the Black community. 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. This is from the Constitution here. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth a separate and equal station which the laws of nature and nature's God entitles them. A decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to this separation. So question 2, according to this document, why haven't Black people received fair trials? They have not been in trials by their peers. Rather, they usually face all white juries from people who don't live in their neighborhood. What argument does this present for why Black people should be exempt from military service? So we're going to go back up here. Because the government does not protect us, meaning the Black man. So why should they go kill other non-white people? Black people. Keep in mind, at the time of this, the Vietnam War is going on. So Black soldiers are fighting against Asians in Vietnam. Across the world, against other non-white, we'll say other people of color. Or is your opinion? Do you believe that your education fits the description in point 5? Why or why not? Is that a positive or a negative thing? And then 5 is your opinion as well. Of those 10 points, which one do you think is most relevant and needed in 2020? If you are not a Black person, you can still answer this question. Okay, you could relate this to basically anybody in the United States. Okay, so pick one of those points that you think is the most relevant and needed right now, and explain why you selected that point. Hope this helped. Talk to you tomorrow. Almost home, guys.